I spent over $1,500 buying these two cable towers so you don't have to. Well, today we are putting two of the internet's most popular budget cable towers head to head in the ultimate showdown, Bells of Steel versus Eonfit. I'm testing the height clearance, checking the pulleys, and literally dropping the weight stacks to see which one breaks first. Starting off with the Eonfit E1. Right out of the box, it has double 3D free motion rotating arms that swing a full 180 degrees. You can do cable flies, overhead presses, low rows, from literally any angle. The Bells of Steel physically cannot do this. That arm is the entire story of why someone picks the Eonfit. If you're building out a garage or basement gym, ceiling space is usually a headache. Side by side, both of these towers sit right at 80 inches tall. Same clearance. But the frame height doesn't actually matter as much as where the top pulley is mounted. When you try a lat pull down on the Bells of Steel, you just don't get a full stretch at the top. Your arms stay slightly bent, so it's not a true range of motion. Because the Eonfit has those extending arms, you actually get that complete stretch. The Bells of Steel does have a massive advantage with attachments. You can plug their accessories straight into the front of the uprights. It fits snug and lets you get a ton of extra workout angles without eating up your floor space. It's a really solid design choice. But I tried to take a Bells of Steel attachment and plug it into the exact same spot on the Eonfit, and it just doesn't fit. The hole on the Eonfit frame is literally too small. Then I tested what happens if you accidentally drop the weight stack. On the Bells of Steel, there is absolutely no spring at the bottom. It just comes to a violently hard stop and the weight slams straight into the base metal. Now let's test the Eonfit. Will it survive the exact same drop? 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Look at that bounce! Unlike Bells of Steel, Eonfit actually included a built-in shock-absorbing spring at the base. Instead of a massive, terrifying crash, the spring eats the impact, saving your floor, your machine, and your ears. Pulleys. This is where the quality gap shows up most. Bells of Steel weight stack version comes with aluminum pulleys straight from the factory. Plate loaded gets nylon standard, but you can upgrade to aluminum. The Eonfit uses the same material for their pulleys. It feels slightly different when you're pulling, but honestly, the glide is surprisingly smooth for what you're paying. The cable setup on the Bells of Steel cable tower is honestly super solid. It comes with a removable ball end, meaning when the cable eventually wears out, you just unscrew the ball and swap in a new cable in like 2 minutes without fighting the machine. Plus, with over 97 inches of travel on the 2-to-1 setting, you have way more than enough slack for full range of motion on whatever you're doing. Moving over to the Eonfit, the uprights are built from standard 14-gauge steel, which is plenty sturdy for what you're paying. You get 33 different height adjustments to dial in your starting point, plus that 2-to-1 cable ratio on the free motion arms. Out of the box it feels fine, but once you actually take a second to hit the guide rods with some grease, the glide is genuinely smooth. So, the moment of truth. Which one is actually worth your hard-earned cash? The Bells of Steel cable tower comes in at an incredibly low 429 Canadian dollars. For a machine built this tough, that is an absolute steal. But what about the Eonfit? It comes in a bit higher at 632 Canadian dollars. But hear me out. With the rotating arms, all the accessories, and a full 365-day warranty, for a machine that normally starts at $2,000 once you add free motion arms, that's a knockout deal. If you want a bare bones, indestructible tank for basic cable work, grab the Bells of Steel. But if you want a complete gym replacement with free motion arms for a fraction of the cost, the Eonfit is your winner. Let me know which one you are putting in your home gym down in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.